A beautiful good morning and wonderful evening to everyone. Welcome to our day 17 of our Breath Awakening session. Let's start our session with a beautiful and devotional bhajan by Brishank, followed by meditation by Sunil. We're also going to have experience sharing session by Vartika and wisdom sharing session by Shubhu. So let's hear bhajan to build a positive approach and increase our awareness of our surroundings. Let's welcome our young master, Rishank. Welcome, little champ.
Namaskaram. I'll be actually singing a Gavaraja song. So. பக்கல நிலபடி பக்கல நிலபடி பக்கல நிலபடி பக்கல நிலபடி గొలిచే ముచ్చట బగదిల్ పరాద పక్కల నిలబడి గొలిచే ముచ్చట బగదిల్ పరాద పక్కల నిలబడి చుక్కల రాయని చుక్కల రాయని చుక్కల రాయని చుక్కల రాయని గెరు మోముగల చుక్కల రాయని గెరు మోముగల సుదతి సీతమ్మ సౌమిత్రి ఈ సుదతి సీతమ్మ సౌమిత్రి రాముని కీరి రూపకల నిలబడి గొలిచే ముచ్చట బాగదిల్ పరాత పక్కల నిలబడి తను బూచే వందన మునరించుచున్నారా చనువు నామ కీర్తన సేయుచున్నారా తను బూచే వందన మునరించుచున్నారా చనువు నామ కీర్తన సేయుచున్నారా మనసున తలచిమై మనసున తలచిమై మరచియున్నారా నెనరుంచి త్యాగ రాజుని నెనరుంచి త్యాగ రాజునితో హరి 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 రూపకల నిలబడి గొలిచే ముచ్చట బాగదిల్ పరాద పక్కల నిలబడి
Thank you, Prashant, for such a devotional and beautiful song. Thank you so much. You're so young and so talented. Thank you. Now I would like to call our meditation master, Sunil, to start the meditation. So let's put all our attention at one place, put all our energy at one place, and enjoy practicing silence. Let's welcome Sunil. Welcome, Sunil.
Thank you, Blossom. Good evening. And a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the folks across the globe. Wow, today we are on day 17. So 16 days of continuous meditation and 16 days of a lot of wisdom that was shared. Interesting. But friends, let me tell you, none of these we can take forward unless we silence that inner chatter. If there is anything that is going to hinder our growth, our path of this journey, it's the only this chatter. If you silence this chatter, the path is full of blossom. All right. So let's start the meditation. By now, we all know the technique. We all know what is the procedure. Yes, sit comfortably, gather yourself. Make whatever adjustments you wish to. Be at total ease. Remove the spectacles if you're wearing one. You don't need them while meditating. Make any more adjustments you wish to. Stretching your back, legs. Be at comfortable position. So the meditation that we're going to practice is Anapanasati meditation. It's very simple. There are just 3 steps. First, sit comfortably. Clasp your fingers, that is fingers to fingers, and then place them on your lap. Cross your feet if you're sitting in a chair or a bed or a stool, that is left on right or right on left, either ways. And then we slowly close the eyes and observe the breath. So it's the most simplest form of meditation you can think. So if you have clasped your fingers, just sit comfortable. Cross your legs. Slowly close your eyes. Be aware of the surroundings, the room that you're sitting in. Just be aware. You might hear some sounds or no sound. Either ways, it's okay. We just need to be aware of them. Now slowly pull your awareness to your body. Be aware of your body. Now pull your awareness to your breath. If needed, take a couple of deep breaths, just if required, else it is not really necessary. To meditate, relaxing the body is the most important aspect, fundamental aspect. Relax your head, relax your shoulders, relax your upper body, relax your arms, let your legs be relaxed. Loosen your clasped fingers a bit, just make it comfortable. Similarly, the legs, the crossed legs, just place it comfortably. Relax your mouth, your eyebrows. Your body is now completely relaxed. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Your natural, ingoing and outgoing breath. Just flow with the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Just be with it. There's only one formula. Whenever thought comes, be aware of them, cut the thoughts, and come back to breath. Please come back to your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Come back to your breath, my dear friends. Last 10 minutes. to your breath, my dear friends. 5 more minutes. Slowly Come back to your body, my friends. Bring your awareness back to the body. Don't open your eyes yet. Come back to your body. Be aware of your body. Now be aware of your surroundings. And whenever you feel complete, unclasp your fingers and place them on your eyes for about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. At your convenience, gently open your eyes whenever you're comfortable with. Relax. So that's Anapanasati meditation. Once everything is done, adjust yourself, drink a glass of water if needed. So that completes our meditation for day 17. Thank you. Thank you, Blossom. Over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Sunil, for a wonderful session. As Patriji said, we have to come out of our verbal level activity, our mind level activity, and intellect level activity into pure consciousness. This is meditation. Thank you so much, Sunil, for your guidance, your continuous guidance on coming back to the breath. It was really helping us to go to a deeper level of meditation. Thank you so much. Let's move to next agenda of the meeting and meet our guest speaker, Vartika. Little background on Vartika. Vartika is an IT professional based in St. Louis, Missouri, USA. She loves to have fun time with kids and entertain them. She is a very joyful person until a severe health issue hit her hard. She had been through a tough treatment which made her life miserable and depressed. That is when she was advised to seek spiritual path by her mother and a pyramid meditation master who also had been through the same journey. This led her into emotional stability and physical recovery. With her experiences, she is now guiding many others as much as she can who are traveling in the same journey. Let's welcome Vartika.
Namaste everyone. Good morning and good evening, good afternoon, one and everyone. First of all, my Atma Pranamams, Anantakoti Sastanga Namaskaras to Adiyogi Mahatar Babaji, Lahir Mahasyaji, Yukteshwar Garu, Paramahamsa Yogananda Garu, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji Garu, Swarnamala Patriji Garu, and to all the meditation masters, gurus and gods, Anantakoti Sastang Namaskaras to one and everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk in front of everyone. As Master Blossom said, my name is Vartika and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. And I've been in this spiritual path since almost 2 years, I would say. Yeah. So it all started with it all started in probably 2019 when I was diagnosed second time with my cancer. So basically, going to my background, I was first diagnosed with my health issue, which was cancer, when I was 27-year-old. And it was very hard and painful journey. It went through like one and a half year. It went through radiation, chemotherapy, and a couple of surgeries because it's huge tumor. And I came to US for my master's degree, but during my education itself, I was diagnosed and had been through a lot. And after that, in 2017, my first treatment is completely done. And I was just got a job, doing fine, and regularly going to job, and everything is going well. It's just 1.5 year of rough journey, but it was ended. I haven't even gone through the spiritual path yet, but just within like after 2 years in 2019, that cancer was spread from one organ to the other organ, make it to the 4th stage. So it actually again hit me hard. Since it is 4th stage, treatment was hard, and my body became sensitive. I couldn't able to take any further. It became very sensitive. I could not handle the medicine. But I was married, have a couple of kids. Because of them, I thought of taking the treatment and going through the journey. But my body became very weak that I just want to give up. I just don't want to take any more. And then that is when my mom, she's my first advisor, and she said, maybe I should seek a spiritual path to walk through. Maybe something could be wrong, or maybe my thoughts or my emotions, something is wrong, making me throw deep into this health issues. So then with her advice, I started first into Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. I was initiated by Sadhguru Garu in Texas. That is when I first met one of the master, pyramid master as well, there, who also came to the same program, Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. She's also going through somehow, with coincidence, we both met in the same place, and she's also going through the same journey. I was actually going through the same journey, having chemotherapy and having weak bodies, and we both completed Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, been in touch with each other, going through the journey, trying to, getting to know each other, and goods and bads. So with that Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya being done, I have practiced for few, with the journey being. So basically, there are some few prerequisites for Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. It is like 4 hours. You should not eat or drink anything before or after, before especially. And with the chemo treatment going on, and with the chemo treatment going on, I should have a healthy and strong body, and I cannot stay like that for certain period of time without eating. And also with that weak body, chemo medicine is terrible. That actually weakens your body so much. And with that weak body, I could not able to do the prerequisite yogas also, because for Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, there is 15 minutes prerequisite yogasanas also. So at the beginning I started, but moving forward with the chemo drugs more and more, because the certain period of time is needed for every chemo drug. For like 2 weeks, the chemo medicine should goes in, it stays for 48 hours, and then again after two weeks, like that. Again and again, the chemo medicine goes in, your body gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And my body got very weak, and at one point I could not able to do prerequisite yogasanas, and also I could not able to stay without eating for 4 hours. I started eating it and did only for 2 hours, and then doing meditation, like that. At some point, I could not able to handle anymore, because by the time of I got into 8 cycles of chemo, my body was literally so weak, I could not take any more. But somehow I'm doing it. So during this journey, the meditation master I met, the chemo master, she also going through the same process, and she was in very rough state than me. And during our talks, she said that she came up, she got into this thing like pyramid meditation, and she thought that is it, that is what she thought could help her. And she advised me the same, that okay, you should start it, because this helping me, because by the time she didn't she started, and she's getting into it, she's not completely into it, but she's getting into it, and it is actually helping her. So with her advice, I started pyramid meditation. So for that, I have ordered a pyramid, and I got it in a week. And as soon as I got it with her advice, as soon as I don't know much anything about pyramid meditation, and I don't know anything about it, but I know how the meditation works, how it helps us, because I done Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. It actually helped, but I do not have enough strength, or it is needed some prerequisite and some standard procedure to follow, not simple. But she wanted me to start this, and we both started. It started helping her. And I first thing I did is I purchased pyramid, and the first time I entered into the pyramid and I started the meditation, I don't know anything about it. So I sit inside the pyramid. She asked me to clamp the fingers and just sit quiet. So I did that. I just clamped my fingers, closed my eyes, and immediately the moment I closed my eyes, I don't know what happened, but a vibration started right in the middle of my central, like in between my eyebrows here. And the vibration started. It was intense. That vibration started. It was there for some time, and somehow I got deep into the meditation for the first time itself with the pyramid, within the pyramid. So I was thinking, okay, maybe this is not right. Maybe I was just trying to think myself that, okay, maybe something up with it, and there is something definitely in it, and I want to see if something more, what I would say, I want to think myself within the pyramid and see maybe this is not right, maybe I'm not thinking right. But somehow I did not get any thought at all. I sit and I did meditation for like 20 to 30 minutes for the first time there under the pyramid. Within those 20 to 30 minutes, I did not get a single thought, and that meditation was very intense. That vibration, it started and it continued for 2 days. 2 days, whatever I did, even after the meditation also, whatever I did, that vibration was within me, and it was continuous. So I asked her, like, this is what happened to me, and is it okay? Like, is it normal? She said, it is really good. It happens, and it is good that, the blessings actually coming from the masters, and that third eye, that there we have the third eye there, and the vibrations within that is really good, but it helps more go deep into the meditation. So that is how it all started. And since then, I've been continuously doing meditation every day. No matter what, if it is like less time, more time, or whatever, it actually, I'm doing much more every single day. After that, the chemo treatment is complete, and I did not go through any more. I've been continuously monitored by the doctors for every 3 months for 2 years. 2019 was my last treatment, March. It's been 2022. I was continuously diagnosed for every 3 months, and since 2022 March, since I have successfully completed 2 years of the treatment. Now it is every 6 months. So for every 6 months, I've been diagnosing, and as of now, I do not have anything. It's completely negative, null, and I'm hoping the same. And I'm I think and I positively believe this has all happened because of the calmness, stability, the emotional stability, and the physical health, which is all because of the meditation which I was doing, which I had done and I've been doing. It's definitely because of that. See, if your health is sick, that means you're emotionally sick. You're mentally something's wrong. When you're mentally strong and mentally stable with your emotions, your physical body will automatically support it. That's my belief. That's what people say. So along with the meditation, I also the reading spiritual books, like Power of Now is really good book, and also I read How to Heal Yourself. The main book is the it's not suddenly striking in my mind. It's by Paramhamsa Yogananda ji. It's I'm not getting the book name right now, but I'm gonna let you know. But yeah, that's an amazing book. It's definitely must watch read book. I'm gonna let you know in chat. So I myself feel that this spiritual journey actually helped me heal my cancer and also physically and mentally stabilize my mind. Because after chemo treatment, my mind used to be like forget all things and not stable and everything, but it became normal, back to the senses, going back to the work, stabilize everything. And my physical, I'm very happy with my kids back again, playing with them. My relationship got better with my husband. Previously, during cancer treatment, my relationship got little, here and there. But after, with all this journey I've been through, everything got back to normal, and I feel like I'm back again. This is all just because of meditation. And with the pyramid meditation, it all become very easy because the process is very easy. And so after that, whoever going through the process, I'm letting them know the same thing, that okay, this process is pretty simple, straightforward, and very easy, and anybody can do at any point of time. So they're also been part of it, and we created a WhatsApp group. There we've been continuously in checking one another, making sure daily reminders, making ourselves not to miss anyone, and advising others who are going through this tough journey, because it's not easy. And I really thankful to all the masters, meditation masters here and in all over the universe, and to the master Shanti, who introduced me into this. Thanks one and all. That's all from my end.
Thank you, Vartika. Thank you so much. Wow, in such a young age, you had seen a lot. One really has to be mentally strong to come out from physical pain. Thanks for coming and sharing with us. This is a very inspiring story. And the way you explain how pyramid meditation and spiritual journey helped you in making you calm and helped you in emotional stability. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite our wisdom sharing master, Shibu Gopalakrishnan. As we all know, Shibu is with us from the day one of the meditation session. He wants the whole world to meditate. He volunteers for spreading meditation and conduct meditation sessions to the spiritual seekers. Welcome, Shibu.
Thank you so much, Blossom. Good morning, good evening, everyone. And Vartika, thank you for sharing that. What an inspiring story. All these spiritual concepts which we've been talking about just came alive in your talk. I mean, this is why this experience sharing is such an integral aspect of this entire program. It's beautiful. Okay, thank you for sharing. And Sunil, beautiful meditation. Vishank's music is always great, and thank you all. All right, so let's start with the wisdom sharing topic for today. Let me share my screen. Blossom, can you please let me know if it is
Yes.
shared? All right.
Mhm.
Sounds good. So the topic for today is silence and word. How do we talk about silence? So the best way to understand silence is we are sitting in a group, right? Sit in a group and be in silence in that group. I'm sure the silence will speak for itself. And this is, I'm not trying to be poetic here. It is the truth. Silence will speak and will know what needs to be known. Right? But for now, let's start with an intellectual understanding. From the first week itself, the central theme has been be a master. We looked at the few aspects for it, right? The mastery over breath, awareness, energy, and thoughts. We have seen, and now we have experienced that during meditation, we receive a lot of cosmic energy. Right? What we use is use our awareness and energize the right thoughts. This way, we create the perfect reality. And we have had multiple sessions on this, thoughts create reality and how this all comes alive, right? For doing that, we also need to conserve energy, right? We get a lot of energy, the battery is full, but how do we stop the wastage? And silence is a great tool for that. Silence, its gross form means no talking, no words. So with silence, can help regulate the breath and conserve the energy. Obviously, silence, we start with the external part of it, right? Start with the speech, not speaking. Then later we get into the inside, the chatter which goes on. Now we are aware of that, right? As we meditate, we can see that. But it always starts with the external part of it, the speech. This is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. This is not just a word, he lived by it. His entire life, he was silent for 1 day in a week. I think it was every Monday. He was a very busy man. He was the father of the nation, India. And obviously he had a lot of things to do. He was leading the freedom fight. But still, he chose not to speak for an entire day, every week. And the remaining 6 days, he would work. But that 1 day powered his 6 days, right? Was able to conserve the energy, was able to gather his thoughts, was able to direct it, right? Conserve and gather and direct it. So when he spoke with conviction, and the words had the power because he conserved it. Energy was conserved. So now in the previous sessions as well, we looked at it. There's a lot of distractions at this point in time. Right? In this day and age, there's a lot of distractions. There's a social media going on. The phone's always buzzing. Everything is trying to gather attention, right? You watch the TV, like you look at the news, there's so much things going on, right? It's not just in the past, in the previous days, used to be one person in the TV and that person will be talking. But now if you look at it, there are like 4 or 5 windows. Something is breaking all the time, right? Something going on in the TV every single minute. So much, everything is trying to gather attention, right? You keep the phone, It's always buzzing, Snapchat, Facebook, everything wants our attention. And our attention is not with us anymore. It's always trapped in all these external things, which is why to conserve, and if you want to be a master, it's very important for us to have that me time, our own time, taking a break from all these distractions. Even if we go in a park, we can see this, right? We go to a park, there's always something which is going on. We might be listening to a podcast, or we might be listening to music, or we might be watching a video. The phone is always with us, the social media, or something is always grabbing our attention, right? Which is why the me time, which is mentioned, is very, very important, the time with ourselves. Why is it important? As we get into that me time, as we embrace silence, we can see ourselves within that mirror. As we are silent, we can drop the crutches. All these crutches, all these phones and everything else, it's always always grabbing our attention, right? We are not with ourselves anymore, because it's always with either the phone or something going on. So when we remove those, that's when we can actually be with ourselves, our own thoughts, our own feelings. All of these elusive things actually comes to the surface. But it all starts with the external silence. Stop speaking. As we stop speaking, as we internalize, that's when we start seeing these things. That's when we see this as a mirror. This is the mirror, right? We see our true self. Benefits of silence. This again, there's a lot of benefits of silence as we practice silence. Prevents the wastage of energy and even breath. When we speak, every word takes up breath, takes up additional breaths, right? As we stop speaking, as we are silent, then we can conserve that energy, conserve that breath. And second point, which is mentioned here, is very important, which is moving from being compulsive to conscious, which also means that the listening, even when we are listening, we are deeply listening, right? Everything comes alive here. The whole world comes alive because now we are conscious and we are attentive. The mindfulness. With silence, this augments and supports being mindful. Also relieving the stress. All we have to do is be in silence. Just embrace the silence, and we can see that even the stress comes down. Be silent, be with the breath, and we can all see that we have also practiced it. It also boosts the willpower and the creativity. The mindful part of it, we can see as we are silent, as there is an inner silence, there is a certain grace to it. When we are silent and when we are mindful, even the mundane task comes alive, right? I have seen this in myself. Just running to the bathroom, trying to open a tap. If I'm not conscious, I'll just go there and just tap at it, right? Water will just keep flowing. But with the silence, everything, there is a grace to it. There is a grace in whatever we are doing. And that grace is obvious, right? The silent person has that grace, that beauty. And the final thing which I want to say is silence is our home. What is a home? It's not just a house, right? Home is a place where we can be ourselves. No need of any pretensions or masks. So we can come home, lie in a couch. If we feel like dancing, we just dance. Feel like singing, we sing. So we are in our home in the morning, we come back in the evening, right? This is our place. Silence is also like that. In this home, one of the rooms is a laboratory, right? It's a lab where we do the experiments with truth. We can do the experiments with truth. Every single concepts which we talk about in these sessions, we can do the experimentation in that lab, in that room within our home. Who we are, what we are not. All of this, if it has to move from a concept to a reality, we take it to that lab and experiment. It's all in that silence, our home. This is our true home, and the answers are always there. With this, from silence, from the depths of silence, let's go to the word. Word is how we express ourselves, our real power, our creative power. It's the magic. It's real magic. It's also a weapon. In the previous sessions, we talked about domestication and the patterns, right? How a word uttered by someone can get into a belief system of somebody, right? And essentially can shape their reality. Like a parent telling something to the kid. The kid believes it and gets into the belief system, forms the patterns, which essentially forms the reality for the kid. So word is a weapon. It's also a creative power. So my dear friends, look at this image very carefully. So how do we see the world? On the left, we see this beautiful garden. Everything has come alive. Right? There's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of opportunities. Everything is beautiful there. On the right-hand side, it's a lot of weeds. It's not beautiful, right? So how do we see the world? Are we seeing problems everywhere? Do we think everybody's out there to come and get you? Do you think the world is so unfair? Or are we seeing opportunities? Are we seeing opportunities and beauty everywhere? So this is very important, right? From which consciousness are we speaking? We know word is a weapon, but from which consciousness are we speaking, right? Let's take an example. Gandhiji. We started with him. We started the session with him in silence. It's also my hero. I mean, the first book which I read was The Experiments with Truth. You know, the Gandhiji, the way he used his word essentially to lead the entire country to freedom. Right? When he spoke, the words had the power, was able to mobilize people, right? I still remember the words from Gandhiji, they can torture my body, break my bonds, and even kill me. Then they'll have my dead body, not my obedience. Very, very powerful words, which inspired the nation. So many quotes, right? He lived by it. The words had the power. It was able to inspire people. It brought down the mighty British Empire, right? One man using the words, mobilizing the entire nation. Miracle consciousness, because he absolutely believed in it. And the words had the power for it. On the right-hand side, there was Hitler. Right? Look at the other side. His words also had the power. He was able to brainwash and affect the belief system of an entire country. Essentially, he created thousands and thousands of nuclear bombs. Right? Each person was a weapon because he was able to brainwash them and use that for destructive powers. The people who were brainwashed absolutely believed in what they did, right? This is the right-hand side. Left and right. Very important what consciousness we are speaking out of. Next is the choice of word. Many times we keep saying this, right? I can't do this. I am too tired today. Things like that. I'm not prepared for this. Every time we say this, right, we are strengthening our own belief system, our own limitation. Every time we say this, we are applying that black magic back to us, right? Any limiting things, it's actually essentially a black magic. We start believing, we start strengthening that same belief system. And the words are very, very important, right? The words which we use, like don't forget. When we say don't forget, essentially the emphasis also on the forget, right? As in we are reinforcing forgetfulness. Instead, you can use words like, here is a reminder, things like that, right? The words, the way we use it is very, very important. And in this context, I also want to give a small example. So let's take an example where there was a mom. She was having a very, very stressful day at office. Her boss was screaming at her. She had a lot of pending work. It was like 5 or 6 in the evening. She was not able to finish the work. So she had to take that back to home. She had to bring it back home and still continue to work. So all of these things she's back home, but she brought the work back home. The stress is with her. Everything is with her. She also has a daughter at home, and the daughter is not at all in this state of mind, right? She is very happy, joyful, small kid. She was just very happy to see her mom. She just started singing. She was just in her joyful state. But the mom, on the other side, we know her state of mind. She's very stressed. At that point in time, she just blurted out, "You have such an ugly voice. Such an ugly voice." Obviously, the mom did not mean it. It is just her state of mind. But in that moment, the child just accepted it. Because for the child, the mom is everything. Mom is the caregiver. Mom can never be wrong. Mom has always have to be right. In that moment, she accepted that. She accepted that belief system. It went into her belief system, right? From here on, it will always be in her belief system. She might have a beautiful voice, but she will always believe that she has a terrible voice, right? So without even intending, her mom had applied black magic on her. This is how the black magic works. Even something like as pure a relationship like a mom, black magic was applied. This is why we have to be very, very careful and conscious of what we speak. Very, very important. On the other side of it, in yesterday's session, Srujana was talking about her son, right? Where she keeps using the word strength, right? That's reinforcing it. It's the little kid will start believing that he has the strength. That's how we apply the white magic. It gets into the belief system. He will have the strength because it is being reinforced. Right? This is how we apply the white magic. See that difference between the two, the white magic and the black magic. And one of the worst forms of black magic would be the gossip. This is very, very common now. We have all done it. At office, this is how we communicate, right? Go to the person, we try to fit in, there is a group. There's always gossip going on. But it's very, very important that we do not engage in these. Use the words wisely, do not gossip. Now, let's get into very, very important aspect, right? Should I speak? There are 2 checkboxes in this. From that session which Saraja ma'am conducted on emotions a couple of days back, she was also mentioning about this. Is it harming myself or is it harming anybody in the universe? Anyone at all, right? This is that checkbox. If my words are going to harm me or anyone around me, anybody, right? You should not speak. It's as simple as that. If it is not in the direction of truth, if I'm going to hurt someone, that is when we should not speak. That is when we go back to the silence. Silence is better. Don't speak. There are a lot of things. Let's look at where we spend a lot of time, right? If we look at it, we keep trying to defend our point, right? Every time That's when we are operating out of ego consciousness, right? Ego, we want it to be right. We always want ourselves to be right. We are always right. We can never be wrong, right? So if somebody says something, we have to win that argument. That argument, we have to win that. So a lot of talk, a lot of words would not have to be said if we drop that idea that we have to defend ourselves, right? If we just drop it, it's one beautiful thing. There is nothing which needs to be defended, right? Truth does not need defense. Truth just is, just there, right? If all pretensions need defending, but otherwise, truth does not need that. Sooner or later, it will have to come out, and we don't have to speak and defend it. Only the ego needs that. And also the context. The context of how we speak is also very important. It is not just about being goody-goody and saying nice words, right? Without meaning it. Somebody might be always, without even meaning it, say very, very nice words. That's not what we are intending here, right? It's always the basis of the speech. What are we talking about? From where is this coming? What is the intention behind it? There are many, many masters. For example, let's take the case of Patriji. We can see that in many cases, he has raised his voice, he has scolded the people. But that is not black magic, that is white magic, because yet he's trying to help them, right? He's trying to change something in them. Again, Sarojama mentioned this, the karma versus Leela, right? When we know what we are doing, when we have real understanding about exactly what we are doing, then with that understanding, when we are speaking, then it is okay, because the intention is always to help. It is not to try and put down someone. That is white magic, trying to change. So again, very, very important. We need to understand from what basis, from where are these words coming from, right? Is this coming out of jealousy? Is this coming out of, we just want to prove our point, we're just trying to be nice, those kind of things, very, very important. Just let's see and observe where this is coming from, and then decide the speak part. So we have looked at the word, various aspects of the word. Now it is about what I can do. We have looked at the intent, right? From now on, let's decide that we'll always use the word for creating white magic. We always have an option not to speak, right? But if we are speaking, let it be for creating white magic, for creating good for everybody. We have been meditating for a number of days now. Be meditative and embrace silence. Let it be a habit. Goes without saying, always speak the truth. Our truth. What is our truth? Is what we speak. Then life is in a flow. As long as we live our truth, it doesn't need any force or any course corrections, right? We just live our truth. We just go with the flow. We looked at why it is very important to be conscious of the word. It is not about saying a lot of things. It is about saying the right things, making sure that the word, the intent, or the idea is communicated. That is the idea. It's not about talking a lot. So usually we can say this, right? If we talk a lot, maybe the idea or the core will usually get lost in it. Just stick to the point. Be very clear about it. And for that, we need to be conscious. And that is where the meditation, awareness, all of this comes along, right? We need to be aware of where we are speaking out of, what is that context, and the words coming out of our mouth. Always, always mean what we say. The last important one, be awake. be aware, right? This is what we're doing with meditation. You get all this energy, use your awareness, live life, put life into this moment, the current present moment. And that this is what brings out everything else, all the above points. And finally, let's look at few exercises. At least in a week, once in a week, let's do this, right? Once a week, let's do a long session of silence. This is our me time. This is where we will dedicate this time. We'll dedicate this time for ourselves, right? Not spending time with the phone or doing other things, right? Just spending time. Sorry, was that a question? Blossom, was that a question?
We can
Okay.
take later.
Okay. All right. So back to the exercises. Long session of silence, right? Giving yourself the me time. Let's do it at least once a week. Fix a time. Let's say Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning. In that time, come what may, we will be silent, right? So just observe that silence and see what happens, right? With that silence, we'll get into the observation and everything else. So use that time, prepare your family for it. If you're living with your family, prepare them. Be very clear that at this time is my time and I'm going to be silent at this time. Another thing, a practical thing which we can do is to have shorter sessions of silence, pauses during the day. So we all have probably a lot of us are working. We have a lot of calls going on. It's always word after word after word. We're always talking. We're always expending energy, spending our energy, right? Let's take that base. Let's go back. Let's take that space and go back to the silence, right? Let the words come out of the silence rather than from a lot of words and confusions and distraction. We can see the words clearly. We can see the intent clearly. All of that takes small pauses. Nothing to like 1 hour or 2 hours, 5 minutes. Every 1 or 2 hours, take 5 minutes and be with yourself. Maybe step out or sit and then just observe the silence. Today, Sunil started the session with be aware of your surroundings, right? Just be aware of the surroundings, the sound. Just be with yourself for 5 minutes. And the third one, again, one thing which I mentioned earlier, convey the message. Let's try to make a conscious effort to convey the message with the least possible words. The idea is to communicate. Let's use the least amount of words for that. The point is, if we have the power, right? If the words have the power, it will get communicated. And that power comes from silence. And the time to start is always now, right? These are things, these exercises are things which will change, which will better our future. These are things for future. But the way we started, the time to do that is now. We mentioned the key is to know when to speak and when to be silent. Let our words come out of silence and let our words be a gift to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Shibu, for sharing the wisdom on silence and words topic. I can tell you from my personal experience, I did silence course for like 2-3 days. And if you have any questions, suppose if you have questions from childhood or if something is bothering you, if you write up the question and be in silence, complete silence, you get answers for your questions. And you really do. It's my personal experience. So silence plays an important role in our life.
Absolutely, Blossom. Two things. First of all, my apologies for going over the time. Second, the point which you mentioned, right? Another beautiful point, which is the journaling, right? as we are in silence, a lot of these thoughts and emotions, a lot of things will surface. Very important that we start journaling as well.
Yeah.
I think Ashok sir's hand is up.
So, Ashok sir, you can unmute. You're unmuted. You can ask question.
Thank you, Blossom ji, and thank you to see Shibu ji again. Thank you very much. My simple question is that when we are saying something, we are communicating with other. So maybe according to his or her perceptions, what you want to say may be taken otherwise. So at that point of time, is it better to take a pause? Because whatever I am saying, maybe I may review my words also. So it is better to take a pause and then talk. For example, husband and wife relationship, or in the family, I'm talking about. So is it a right approach to take a pause? Because other may take that कि मैं बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ, I am not talking. But is it better at that point of time to take a pause and rethink the conversation, what is happening, and then come to it? That is what I want.
Very good question. I think every married person has gone through this, right? I think the answer was. I think the answer was there in the presentation as well, sir. I think we should speak if it is only better than the silence, right? In many cases, the answer might just be silence. In many cases, answer might just be silence, right? Because for it to be communicated, there has to be a medium by which we can communicate, right? If there is a lot of anger, if it is not the right setting to communicate, why even waste the words, right? What is the point in talking? We can actually be silent in that instance. Also, another aspect of what you just mentioned is we speak our truth, right? It doesn't matter how the other person takes it, right? That is not our responsibility. We speak what we have to speak from our perspective, our truth. So, but again, I would say not to speak in many cases because silence is always better than the words.
Sir, I want to say that many times the color of the truth is also changed. It depends upon the moods and mindsets of individual. So, these things are very common in political area. We are not political persons, but sometimes the truth is seen in with different glasses. So at that point of time, what one should do? So we should be silent better. But if the silence is there, then it is taken otherwise also. I don't know.
Let's understand one thing, sir. Truth is always truth, right? It just there is. Reality might be different, right? How the truth is interpreted, reality needs a time and space that keeps changing. But again, your point is when to be silent and when to speak the truth, right? That is, again, back to that the miracle consciousness and the consciousness which we talked about, right? Gandhiji was not silent. He saw something, he stood up against it, but he was not in a victim consciousness, right? He was not, there was no anger in him. He was not angry, there was not hatred in him. He just wanted, he understood that certain things are unfair, right? But he stood up against it. He was not silent. He spoke, and the words had power, and it changed. I think we have a great example in front of us. Does that answer your question, sir?
Sir, it has answered my question, but I don't want to come into the controversy of Gandhiji's. The Nehruji versus Subhash Chandra Bose. When Nehruji didn't get any vote and Subhash Chandra Bose got all the votes, and even then Gandhiji prevailed and Subhash Chandra Bose should step down, and he stepped down. So I don't want to come into all those controversies, but it has happened. Over Gandhiji was a great leader, a great spiritual leader. He got us freedom. There are controversies that even Subhaji also got us independence. So all these things are there. But as far as the meaning of the silence is concerned or the words is concerned, I have got an answer. Thank you very much. That the truth is always truth. So we should always follow a path of truthfulness. And whenever there is a controversy, there is a conflict of interest, then it is better to be a silent. Take a pause, and then we can speak our viewpoint. So
Yeah,
that is what I have
totally
got
agree.
the answer.
As you said, let's not get into the political aspects of it, but you know, everything is an example, right? But yes, the words, let it come from the silence. The pause totally makes sense, as you said, right? Let there be pause. The idea is to be conscious. The words we are speaking and from where is this coming from, right? I think we need to be conscious of all of it, and then we speak, then that will be our truth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shibu, there's a question from Vijay Shankarji. He's saying, the latest findings are senior citizens have to talk more and more, not be silent. Otherwise, they will face Alzheimer's disease or dementia, etc., connected with brain. Talking makes brain to become very active. Talking involves a lot of activities in the brain. Either one has to talk or chant Veda mantras, recite Gita, sing vocal music, etc. So that's a question.
Well, I cannot comment from a medical perspective. I'm not a medical practitioner. But typically, what happens in silence is that we are giving our brain some rest to process it as well, right? Usually, many of the issues gets addressed when we are in silence. About speaking, again, we have to speak. The point is, speaking just for the sake of speaking, I don't think is the right thing. But again, from a medical perspective, from a medical point of view, that's something which we can always check and get back to you.
Thank you. And the way what I understood is silence doesn't mean that we don't have to talk. It's just like when certain actions comes in your life, at that time, instead of talking too much, you have to be silent at that time, take a pause and then speak.
Yeah, be conscious of what you're speaking.
Yeah.
So however you get it, right? Long pauses, short pauses, just be aware of what we are speaking, where it's coming from.
I think that's it. We don't have any more question. I just want to say thank you to Sunil, Shibu, and Vartika ji. Your speech, your experience, the way you were explaining us, motivating hundreds of people. Thank you for joining. And I think we are just come to an end, and we will all join tomorrow. Thank you so much.